I think it's vitally important that for the city of Harrisburg to be a true stakeholder when it comes to knowing where blighted houses are, where potentially homes that can be restored, we have to have enough revenue to compensate
Do you want
for.
like a separate revenue source of this
Well,
for this particular
well,
project?
well, I feel as though we need a revenue stream. We had the incinerator, we had different parking, we had different things that actually bring in revenue.
Right.
We need more revenue streams. And that's number one. I think we as a city need to increase our ability to make revenue and not on the backs of the residents through taxes.
Right.
I had proposed a hydro generation facility that could bring in over 280 million annually just off the river running. Our present budget is between 75 and 85 million. That's a lot of extra million for housing. It's a lot of extra million for um, medical aid to our people. There's mental issues that go on. There's lacks of fathers and parenting amongst children. There's a lot of different ills and ailments that need to be covered. Our first initiative is to get some funds. Make sure that we have the goal for me is to have enough funds to make sure those programs aren't jeopardized through bureaucracy, through administration and the derelict performances of of offices. We need to have enough so that it's a fail safe in case something doesn't work. We can't be um, cornered or pigeon-toed into a corner and have people, our residents, suffer because of lack of funding. It has to be our number one goal is to make sure as a city we can buy lots, we can um, as a city buy lots and maybe have a trend in container homes that can help establish housing quickly with those infill lots that we have all over our city. It'll be easier, efficient, and locals can help in the development. We have a factory that makes these container homes to for the infills within the city of Harrisburg. But we need funding so we can take care of ourselves. And if we have a natural source such as the river and we use our minds, we can make sure through technology that our residents have fair housing, have energy, and it will reduce the stressors. Right now, I don't see a plan within our comprehensive plan that facilitates housing because it's not up to date. And that's what we need. We need a synchronization of programs so they're respected, there's checks and balances. But if we have a plan, we can say this this is a fair housing issue, and we have funds for that within our plan. But if we don't have any plan, everyone is on an island by themselves. No one can collaborate on a one-way street on here's how we go down this road. We don't have that, and that's vital in a community to have the ability to collab and make things right so we can move in sync. Lancaster, they move in sync. You can feel it when you go to these cities that they are in sync. We are fragmented, and it's to the point where we're imploding because the lack of communication among stakeholders. We don't have it, and we're not going to get it through the same old bureaucracy that we've been sitting in for the last 30 years. It's not going to happen. We don't even have a newspaper that we can say this is this is what we ought to be doing.
Mhm.
And then people get synchronized to the thought that this is what we ought to be doing.
Can I interject for a moment? So what I hear you saying is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but we need to be deliberate and intentional about the way that we serve the community and the plans that we put into place. Building housing or providing other services shouldn't be for the sake of doing so, but intentional. I always say, what kind of neighborhood do you live in? That comes from the community. That because they are the folks that are making the decisions about where they want to live and why. So the kind of neighborhood that a elderly person may want to live in would be different than the kind of neighborhood that a young person just, coming out of college or out of high school may want to live in, which would be different than a young family with children would want to live in. So we need to make a place for each of those folks, and you don't those kinds of households, and you don't do it by just saying, hey, we need housing, build it over there and build it over there. What is the plan? What is the overall view that we all have created, and how intentional are we with putting that plan into implementation?